You know, none of this would have happened if they would have just burned her. Welcome back, horror fans. I'm Leo, and Bootube Breakdowns is here to save your scary movie night. Right off the bat, the VVitch scores a 3.4 out of 10, which lands it in our zombie stumble category. But here's the thing. I've already had to get impaled by a demon goat just to get you this score, and in a few minutes I'll show you exactly why this film earned its rating. If you disagree with my score at the end of the video, be sure to let me know how much you want to beat one of your twin daughters for misbehaving. Then be sure to like, share, and subscribe about it in the comment section. So a Puritan family is condemned by a court to live out in the outskirts of a town. The reason? Doesn't matter. Anyways, things are normal until the baby of the family is stolen from a witch right under Thomason's nose. As the days progress, the family begins to fall apart as the weight of losing the baby begins to take its toll. One by one, the family is then tormented by the Witch of the Woods until the family members succumb to a curse, and Thomason herself gets recruited to the coven. Well, this story is something. The story tries to be a slow burn about the descent into madness of an isolated family that is tormented by a witch. There was an easy opportunity to explore complex themes such as the breakdown of the family under extreme circumstances, or how even a deeply religious family can lose its faith when presented with pure evil. Hell, you could have even explored how authoritarianism leads to rebellion, or explored the corruption of innocence when you have nobody to support you. Instead, we got the cinematic equivalent of watching corn grow with Puritan costumes in the background and way more questions than answers. Like, what did William do that his whole family had to be exiled? What's the family's problem with Thomason? How did the Witch of the Woods steal the baby right from under Morgan from Morgan's nose without her noticing? Where the hell did the twins even come from? So, the witch had her way with Caleb, and we will, I guess, never bring it up again? Oh, so the goat talks? What's up with William's whole discount Captain America scene? You know the one. Oh yeah, and Casey from Split is just cool with the whole signing the devil's book thing? And Catherine. Just, why? All of these are definitely questions. I mean, let's be honest. What did we expect from a writing team that can't spell the word witch? Here's a hint. 2 V's instead of a W is not clever. Story quality for me gets a 3 out of 10. A24, you absolute madman. You've done it again. You've produced another collection of stock footage staring in the distance with slow zoom and music swells that lulls us into the false hope of an increased heart rate and ultimately ends the whole experience with a boring ending and calls it ambiguous. On the plus side, we got to see Anya Taylor-Joy's booty from a distance, so that was kind of nice of you. On a more serious note, the twins keep saying that Black Phillip, the goat, talks to them, and we're just going to ignore that? Catherine is constantly trying to start shit with Brea from the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, and it's never really explained why this is. She was at her throat since before the baby was taken. We then cut to some scene where people are whispering in British. Seriously, you cannot watch this movie without subtitles. And then we get more bickering. Caleb gets the modern public school teacher experience. If you know, you know. Dies of something he catches. This witch could have at least had the decency to teach this kid about the pullout. The twins go into a coma until Daddy William threatens them with an ass whooping. Then they just kind of die anyways. The goat kills William. Turns out Caleb has been dead by now. Mama Catherine gets violent with Ileana Rasputin from the New Mutants, and the classic A24 ending kicks into gear where we pretend bad writing is synonymous with ambiguity. Look, if you like this movie, that's good for you. I'm just saying that it's boring, chaotic, and in general, just not for me. Pacing for this one gets a 3 out of 10. This has the same level of fear as Hereditary, link in the description, and that is not a compliment in any way. The movie tries to be a slow burn film that builds tension through malignant curses and the consequences to the well-being of the deeply religious family. In the end, however, all this ends up being is a weird look at how a family who is clearly struggling to survive due to poor leadership from a weak husband and father just kind of ends up bullying Beth from Queen's Gambit. The mom is kind of a bitch, the dad is kind of domineering, the brother Caleb is entering puberty and staring very intently at his sister's lack of demonetizers, and the twins are just kind of 6? Anyways, there's some cheap scares, a talking donkey, goat, and nothing really happens. Look, for an atmospheric horror feel, you need to have an atmosphere, and this movie just kind of lacks it. It's not scary, provocative, or engaging, and after a 1-point cheap scare deduction, yeah, they did try cheap scares without any real scares. Fear factor for me ends at a 2 out of 10. That said, there's still a few things I enjoyed in this movie. Rolf Ineson has always been one of my favorite actors, and just like in my review of Lord of Misrule, link also in the description, folk horror is exactly where this actor belongs. Kate Dickie was fantastic at playing a grief-stricken mother going insane. Harvey Scrimshaw, Caleb, actually did an impressive job for a child actor, especially during the scene where he is cursed and succumbing to his illness. The twins were of course creepy as hell, and I was particularly impressed with Olga of the Birch Forest from The Northman. For being a breakout role and only the 3rd project in her resume, she did pretty well, and although not her strongest performance, she was able to carry her weight throughout the story rather well. Ultimately, what this whole project boils down to is this is what happens when you get talented actors that try to carry a boring story with a bad script. The result is the classic A24 phenomena where a bad movie with spooky makeup divides viewers into either disappointed horror fans or excited theater kids that saw Halloween Decoration once. Fun factor gets a very generous 6 out of 10. So everyone loses their minds, the twins just die, William gets impaled by the goat, Catherine gets a pretty close shave, and in a plot twist that everyone saw coming, the goat was evil, and is also the devil. He gets Furiosa to sign the book, strip naked, then go into the woods to encounter naked witches dancing around a fire. They all float in the sky, including Margot from the menu. We cut to black, and then there's a forest based on a true story, so it's scary, right? Yeah, it's not ambiguous, it's not clever, it's not even all that entertaining. It's just dumb, weak, and lazy. Ending gets a 3 out of 10. So that's Bootube Breakdowns' take on the VVitch. Averaging our scores gives this movie a 3.4 out of 10, which places it in our Zombie Stumble category. Do you agree with my rating? Scream your score in the comments and tell me what horror flick I should gut next. If this saved your spooky vibes, smash that like, share with your horror crew, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to Bootube Breakdowns for more killer verdicts. Keep it creepy, and I'll haunt you in the next review.